Overcoming insomnia is possible for everyone. I've personally seen hundreds of people of all ages, genders, and severity get rid of insomnia, and I know it's possible for you too. Not to mention the millions worldwide who have done it. In this video, I'm going to talk about how eliminating insomnia is simple, but not easy. My name is Dr. Steve Orma, and I'm a clinical psychologist. And for the last 10 plus years, I've helped hundreds of clients all over the world eliminate insomnia for good and do it without taking medication or wasting time. So let's talk about why overcoming insomnia is simple. First of all, it's accessible, meaning anyone can do it. It's not limited to a certain age or gender or ethnicity or even severity of the insomnia. Anybody can go through the process for overcoming insomnia. Secondly, it's time efficient. It doesn't require a lot of time, and I'll go into this in a little more detail. And it only requires limited skills. There's really just 4 key skills that you need to learn and then apply to overcome insomnia. So let's just talk about the time investment for overcoming insomnia, because if you're a busy person, you might be concerned about that. First is the initial learning phase. And this is the first 3 weeks of the process for overcoming insomnia. And it takes only 1 to 2 hours of time per week to learn the skills. And that 1 to 2 hours of time could actually be, separated. You don't have to do it all in one shot. You can do it at different times during the week. Very minimal amount of time to be able to learn those skills in the initial phase. Then after that, it just requires some ongoing maintenance each week and about 30 minutes or less to learn some additional skills. And what you're doing is once you learn the skills, you're applying them each week, and then you're adjusting as your sleep progresses, because as you apply these skills, and you're changing your sleep behaviors and you're shifting your negative thoughts about sleep, your sleep starts to shift, starts to change, it starts to improve, and the patterns start to change. And therefore, what we need to do is each week we reassess where you're at, and then we adjust the skills to fit exactly where your sleep pattern is at, instead of just keeping them static and the same every week. It's much more powerful and much more effective to be able to, adjust it every week to fit the way your sleep progresses. And then the third is just the time it takes to apply the skills, which is really no extra time, because you're just doing it during your sleep hours. You just do it at night before you go to bed and during the night when you're having trouble sleeping. So there's no extra time required. So this process for overcoming insomnia is good for everybody, including people who are really busy professionals, people with kids. If you have a busy lifestyle and you're worried, am I going to have time to go through this whole process? Well, I've worked with hundreds of people, and they were able to do this even while they were holding their jobs, they were raising kids, they had busy lives. You can do it because the time commitment is very minimal. Another thing that makes overcoming insomnia simple is there's really just 4 key skills. The first skill is tracking your sleep. So you're going to monitor your sleep patterns and your habits each morning in the sleep log. You wake up, you fill out the sleep log, answer a few questions, and that's how you track your sleep and how you know where it's at and how things are progressing. The second skill is following a personalized sleep schedule. So it's important then to create a sleep schedule based on your data from your sleep log and personalize it to fit exactly where your sleep pattern and how your sleep progresses over time. And then you're going to stick to that consistent sleep routine tailored to your needs. And if you're serious about overcoming insomnia, this is what I specialize in. I put together a free ebook with the 7 steps to eliminate insomnia forever and get your life back, where I break down these 4 key skills in more detail. Just click on the link in the description below and download it for free right now. The third skill is what I call the 30-30 rule, and you apply this 30-30 rule in order to break the bed wakefulness association. Once you have a sleep schedule that you're following, which is a bedtime, a wake-up time, and how much time you're actually spending in the bed, even within that structure, you're going to have some trouble sleeping, either falling asleep, staying asleep, or both. And you need to know how to respond effectively in your behavior so you don't keep feeding the pattern of insomnia. And that's what the skill called the 30-30 rule. And then the fourth skill is being able to manage your thoughts and emotions. And this is really key. When people have insomnia, they have a lot of anxiety, You might also have frustration and hopelessness and some fear and worry. And that can throw you off track if you get pulled into that cycle. So a key skill is learning to control your mental and emotional state as you go through the process so you can stay on track and stick with it. So we've covered why it's simple, but why is it not easy? So first of all, it's not a quick fix. There's no quick fixes for insomnia. If you truly have insomnia, there's no sleep hacks, no magic pills, supplements, no special sleep gadgets. There's a lot of information on the internet. You'll even see YouTube videos, and the title will be something like, get rid of your insomnia in 7 minutes. It's just not true. If you really have insomnia, it takes more than a quick fix like that to overcome it. Secondly, you need to apply the skills precisely and effectively. So there's only 4 skills. They're not complicated skills, but they need to be applied correctly and effectively. And they need to be done in the right timing and in a certain sequence or certain order in order for them to be most effective. Third, you need to make ongoing adjustments weekly. As I said, as you're applying the skills, your sleep starts to change, right? The goal here is to overcome and get rid of the insomnia. So as you're applying these skills, you're changing your behaviors, you're shifting your thoughts and beliefs and worry around the sleep. Your sleep starts to change. It starts to get better. The patterns start to get different. And therefore, each week we adjust the skills to fit exactly where your sleep pattern is at, like a glove. And that makes it much more powerful and much more effective to break that pattern of insomnia. And the fourth thing is that there's commitment required. It takes effort and commitment, and you must apply the skills consistently over several weeks to get the result. The other thing is there's some certain challenges in overcoming insomnia. First of all, there's mental challenges. You need to stick with the process long enough, even when you're anxious, you're worried, you're uncertain about how things are progressing. You need to stick with the process and not get pulled into that uncertainty. Secondly, you need to challenge and shift negative thoughts. And as you go through the process, you learn a lot of skills for how to change what are called negative sleep thoughts or worries about your sleep or about the effects of not sleeping. And so you need to be able to do that, to challenge thoughts or things that may seem totally believable and real to you, and be willing to shift those. And then you also need to trust the process that you're going through, even when you're uncertain. A process doesn't work if you are doubting it, if you're not trusting it, because then you're only going to be sort of halfway committed to it. You need to fully commit to it and fully trust the process. And that's key to being able to overcome the insomnia. Second thing is there's behavioral challenges. You need to change your sleep behaviors, the way you're actually going about sleeping. And that specifically is when you go to bed each night, how long you spend in the bed, and when you get up in the morning. Those are 3 key things that are part of a personalized sleep schedule that help to create structure around your sleep and break that pattern of insomnia, which is much more erratic and disorganized. And last, you need to maintain a good attitude, especially when you're facing challenging nights or weeks as you're going through the process. And this is challenging because when you're going through that process, when you're experiencing insomnia, it's challenging. You don't feel good. You're experiencing different emotions. You may have poor nights of sleep and difficult days after that. And you need to maintain a good attitude, because if you get pulled into that negative attitude or anxiety and frustration, it kind of pulls you down and keeps you stuck in that cycle. And so learning how to maintain and shift your attitude, which is part of that skill that I mentioned in terms of managing your thoughts and emotions, is really critical to be able to overcome insomnia. Another thing to be aware of is that the path to success with insomnia is non-linear. Okay, that means it's not a straight line where every day you're progressing and getting better each day, like a straight line of improvement. Really, no change in the human body happens that way, whether it's losing weight, whether you're working out and you're trying to gain muscle. Any kind of change takes some time. And when that happens, the path to getting to the result, which in this case would be completely overcoming and eliminating the insomnia, is non-linear. So usually there's like an initial phase. There's initial progress as you're applying these new skills, you're making these changes, you're applying those 4 skills that I highlighted. And that's the start of your journey to overcoming insomnia. Then you're going to face challenges along the way. For example, you're going to have like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You'll have some really good nights, and then you'll have 1 or 2 poor nights. You'll have a really good week, and then you'll have a week that doesn't seem as good. And that is normal. That happens to everybody as they're going through the process. It happened to me when I overcame insomnia, and it's normal. And it's really important to know that that actually helps you with the mindset part of it, so you don't kind of start freaking out and worrying, oh, this isn't working. I was having such a good week, or I was on such a good run, and then now things aren't looking so good. That's a normal part of the process, and that's important to know, and so you can manage that variability. And what we're looking for here is overall improvement over time. So even though you're moving forward, you're moving back, you're moving forward, you're moving back, the overall progression is moving forward and improvement until finally the insomnia is gone. It's disappeared and you have solid, consistent, healthy sleep. But even though overcoming insomnia is not necessarily easy, it can be challenging, there's huge rewards for overcoming insomnia. First of all, your sleep quality. You're going to get rid of insomnia for good and establish a healthy, consistent sleep pattern where you get restful, quality sleep consistently through the rest of your life. Next, health improvement. When you overcome insomnia and you're getting that full night of sleep and that full restoration in your brain, in your body, you're going to have better overall health. You're going to have a stronger immune system to fight off colds or flu or COVID. You're going to feel better mentally, emotionally, and physically, because a lack of sleep affects all of these things. There's also long-term benefits, meaning that you're going to learn and know how to prevent insomnia from ever coming back, because the last part of the process is relapse prevention, so you can prevent insomnia from ever coming back. And you're going to gain independence. You're going to be able to get off medication if you're taking it, whether it's over-the-counter or prescription medication for sleep, and other substances, CBD, marijuana, THC. You'll be able to get off of those things safely and effectively, which is also integrated into this process. There's also personal growth and well-being. Insomnia doesn't just affect our, mental, emotional, and physical health. It also affects how we feel about ourselves in our life, because we don't feel as effective. We're not, as highly functioning in our work, in our life, or as a parent. So you'll develop what's called sleep confidence and build confidence in your ability to sleep and sleep well. This gets really undermined when you have insomnia. You start to doubt your ability to sleep or sleep well, or that you'll be able to overcome the insomnia. And going through this process rebuilds that confidence in your ability to sleep, in your own body's ability to sleep. You're also going to have that emotional well-being and feel good again, because when you get a full night of sleep and restoration, it actually improves your mood and your energy, and you just feel way better in life. And in fact, this process that I've been talking about is the gold standard treatment for insomnia, and it's been proven to reduce depression 50%. Just by going through the process and eliminating insomnia, it can reduce and improve depression. And then also, it's going to allow you to get your life back, where you're not thinking and focusing and planning your life around insomnia or just feeling like crap during the day. You can forget about sleep and just expect that it's going to come, and just enjoy your life and be able to function in an optimal way in your life. And once again, if you're serious about overcoming insomnia, this is what I specialize in. I put together a free ebook with the 7 steps to eliminate insomnia forever and get your life back, where I break down these 4 key skills in more detail. Just click on the link in the description below and download it for free right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.